What is up, sports bettors? How we doing? It is Matt Modi here with OddsJam, here to give you some NBA player props to lock in for today, using the OddsJam positive expected value page to find and identify which player props are the best of the best to lock in as of this morning. Obviously, odds are constantly changing, so I check the positive EV page all day. I definitely recommend those of you watching this, if you haven't yet, at least sign up for a free trial. It's 7 days, completely free. That's what a free trial means. And use the strategies that I talk about in this video to place profitable bets. And then hopefully within that first week, you're cashing, and then we can hook you up with some sort of discount. But for the positive EV page, we can just get right into it. The first play that I'm going to lock in here is this Desmond Bane under 4.5 rebounds, minus 105 odds at BetRivers. So I'm avoiding these first three ones, which I will tell you why in just a little bit. Number one, the most important thing, why this play is profitable. And it all comes from these odds here, right? You see the plus 107, the minus 107. The positive EV play that you're going to bet is always going to be bolded with the blue rectangle outline around it. So no matter what side, top or bottom, what the odds are, whatever, just look for the bold, look for the blue rectangle that is surrounding it. So these minus 107 odds that you see here, this is kind of where everything in positive expected value betting comes from. So looking at kind of the odds you see on the screen here, right? You click into a play, it pulls up odds from every major sportsbook. We see odds range from minus 105, looks like up to minus 137. That's a pretty big range. It's a 32-cent difference in terms of what these two sports books are pricing it. It's a pretty big range, right? Well, with that in mind, one of these sports books has to be correct. One of them has to be incorrect. One of them has to be right, one wrong. They can't both be an accurate reflection of this Desmond Bane player prop market while being this far apart. It just doesn't make any sense. So knowing that for this specific play, one's right and one's wrong, in sports betting, there are actually some sports books that are historically better than others, more accurate than the rest at pricing odds. They're considered the sharp sports books. So what OddsJam did was, knowing this, was backtest thousands and thousands of betting opportunities to determine what sports books are the sharp ones. So they collected all that data and then removed the VIG from those sharp sports books, which is just the juice, the tax that sports books price odds, to get an accurate no VIG line for each of the sharp books, removes the VIG using a weighted average, and spits out these no VIG odds that you see here. So if you kind of think about it from a holistic view, these, let's call it five, I'm not saying that are five, but let's just call it that. 5 sportsbooks are consistently the best at pricing odds. OddsJam tested this. They know this based on the data they collected. So we're going to use these 5 sportsbooks to basically set the market for current betting opportunities. And then the OddsJam software scans lines from every major sportsbook, from every major market, and spits out betting opportunities where you are getting more favorable odds than the OddsJam perfect line, than this true line right here. And when I say more favorable, I just mean higher payout, more favorable for us as the sports bettor. So that's what a positive expected value bet means. It means you are getting better odds than the OddsJam perfect line, and this OddsJam perfect line is pulled from the sharpest sportsbooks in the world. That's why it's such a valuable tool. So this first play, Desmond Bane under 4.5 rebounds, minus 105 odds at BetRivers. Bolded, blue rectangle surrounding it, positive EV play. Play number 1. Next up, play number 2, we are looking at John Collins to go under 13.5 points. This is at minus 107 odds, also at BetRivers. So the OddsJam perfect line prices this at minus 109. So we're getting it for 2 cents better at minus 107 at BetRivers. So I mentioned that I avoided these top 3 plays. The reason why, so before I even think about locking in a bet from the positive EV page, what I do is click into the play, kind of like I showed you up here. You just kind of click it and it pulls up all odds. And then you compare the bet that you're placing, the odds of the bet you are placing, to the odds of the entire betting market. The goal, what we're trying to accomplish here, is determine whether the bet we are placing is an outlier compared to the rest of the sports books or not. So you want to compare, in this case, John Collins under 13.5 points, minus 107 odds. So let's compare the minus 107 odds to every other book. The goal, again, finding an outlier. PointsBet is close at minus 110, so that's one that is close to BetRivers. But look at every other sports book, right? And then for player props, and this is also applies to non-player props as well, but there are sharp sports books that give the heaviest weight towards these numbers here, these no big odds. One of them is Pinnacle. Pinnacle is known as the sharpest sports book in the world. So the first thing I always do is identify, okay, what does Pinnacle have this priced at compared to the bet that I'm placing? In this case, Pinnacle at minus 129, BetRivers at minus 107. It's 22 cents higher. That's pretty good. That is clearly an outlier, right? And an outlier in our favor. Pinnacle thinks this is significantly more likely to occur, so they're charging more money for it, right? BetRivers has it priced better for us. We're basically paying less money for this John Collins prop than every other sports book. Pinnacle, then you want to look at BetOnline at minus one, or BetOnline, and they have this one at minus 127. Clearly closer to the Pinnacle line, 20 cents better for us than the BetRivers line. You can ignore Underdog and PrizePicks because they're DFS companies, so they have the same implied odds for every major, or for every play, so you can ignore them. But then look at the rest of the non-sharp markets, right? It's a good sign that the two sharp sports books are in our favor, but you still want to compare the rest of the market as well, just to make sure. Minus 127, minus 125, minus 138, and that's it. So this minus 107, clear outlier. So the reason why I avoided these top three plays, they weren't clear outliers to the entire betting landscape. So I decided to skip them because I only want to place bets that are true outliers, right? It's a way to mitigate your variance over the course of time. Now, I'm not saying these three bets are guaranteed to lose and the two bets that I placed are guaranteed to win. It is still sports betting after all. Sometimes a team goes up 27-0 when you have their money line in the NFL, and then they blow the lead. The games still need to be played. But if you're placing bets such as the two that I showed you, over the course of time, you will be profitable. I almost guarantee you will be profitable. Just to do a quick tangent, I've been using OddsJam since the beginning of football season of 2021. So since September 2021, started with a $500 bankroll, and my total profit is over 20K, over 21K. This week alone, I'm up $218. This month alone, I am up as soon as this loads. I'm up I'm up 2,500 in this month alone. So it'll work. You're not going to win every single bet, and you're not going to have every single day be in the green or even week or even month. But in the long run, it will work out in your favor as long as you're doing the things that I'm talking about in these videos. So quick tangent there, back to the NBA plays. Play number 3, Spencer Dinwiddie over 2.5 rebounds. So this play is at minus 130 odds at PointsBet. So the OddsJam perfect line prices this at about almost exactly minus 131.5. We're getting it at minus 130. So there's your gap. There's your profitability. Then what we want to do, and I do this for every single play, there's no play that I lock in where I don't click into the play and check the markets. PointsBet at minus 130. FanDuel and BetRivers look to be kind of close, but they're still 18 cents higher. So I wouldn't necessarily say close, but kind of close because they're like the shade of green. That's just telling you that what books are close. But then the rest of the sports books, starting with Pinnacle, minus 159. Then looking at BetOnline, minus 154. Look at the rest of the markets. Minus 154, minus 150, minus 154, minus 153. Clear outlier to both the BetRivers and the FanDuel line, and then obviously the PointsBet line as well. Or I should say, the PointsBet line is clearly an outlier to even the FanDuel and BetRivers line, and then clearly to every other sportsbook. So this is a good, profitable betting opportunity to lock in. Spencer Dinwiddie over 2.5 rebounds. Play number 3. Next up, play number 4. We are looking at Trey Young to go under 2.5 made threes. So he will make 2 or fewer 3-pointers. Minus 105 odds at BetRivers. Let's identify the sharp sports books and where they have it priced at for play number 4. Pinnacle, minus 126. BetOnline, minus 122. We're going to ignore Monkey Knife Fight and PrizePicks because they're DFS companies. So this minus 137 does not help us. But then DraftKings, minus 125. Bet 365 minus 120. We see minus 131. We see minus 133. The only books that I would say are closer to Bet Rivers, again, is FanDuel and PointsBet. These three are sometimes just seem to be more aligned than the other rest of the markets. They seem to be aligned in a negative way for them, in a good way for us, but they do seem to be aligned. So play number 4, Trey Young under 2.5 made threes. And then last up, this is showing you the beauty of line shopping. So the play that we are going to lock in, this is our 5th and final bet. Domantas Sabonis, who's having an incredible year, over 43.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. This bet is at minus 106 odds at Caesars. So we're getting this at minus 106. Another play we could lock in is one stat higher, and only we're not even that good of a value, 2 cents better. So it's important to check the markets because this over 44.5 is positive EV, but we're getting a much better play over 43.5. So the 5th and final play, as I mentioned, Domantas Sabonis over 43.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 106 odds at FanDuel. DraftKings has it at minus 135. And then just looking at this play, I can see other sportsbooks price it 1 point higher, which is in our favor because we're taking an over. Like FanDuel, Bet 365, Bet Rivers, and Bet Online all have it 1 point higher, and they favor it going over as well, which is another significant point in our favor. So this is a really good play. Sabonis over 43.5 PRA, and that's going to be it. So 5 NBA player prop bets for you guys to lock in. Make sure to like the video, helps me out a ton. Subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. Comment on the video if you're tailing. And then if you want to find me on social media, you can at my Twitter handle on the screen here, Jedi Modai, and that's it. So enjoy the slate tonight and have a good one.